Hello there. How's everybody doing? Wow, can't believe so many people have already showed up. Hey, you guys can hear me, right? All right. I'd hate to get going without my audio working. I'm doing good. Hello. Good afternoon. Yeah, I realized I hadn't eaten, so I scarfed down a Cliff Bar in the last like 30 seconds. So let me watch it down. Yo. We got Shark, Holes Ryan, Tasty K, Pawn, Lysiso. I can read my chat now, which is really nice. And the chat is on the stream, so yeah, I definitely will see it. Yeah, man, don't joke like that. You're gonna. I'm already nervous enough after having to squint to read my chat in the test. All right. So the goal today. So first off, like this is kind of more just like a hangout while I get stuff done. So if you guys want to ask some questions, if you want to like, try to derail me a little bit, hopefully not too much. But the goal today is to sort of like take the tile map that I've been working on and building a new level. Gosh, and game dev. Thank you. I am the guy. Actually. Okay, so originally I was planning on working on in Sprite, but I think I have most of it done. I exported it out to some tile sheets, so as long as you aren't as distracted as I was this morning. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah. Well, hopefully I won't be as distracted as I was on the first stream. I was watching the VOD back, and I was like, I think I got halfway through explaining just about everything that I talked about. Hey there. Sure, I'm gonna get everybody's name wrong. The last guy, his name was "This is a username," and I like read it as like sausage. But in in my defense, it was like very tiny font. Okay. So let's open up Godot. So I did create a new test level. Hey, all right. Pihu Sharma. Making your tile set too? Cool. All right, so let's see. So I started out, I got a little bit ahead of myself, but I created a test level. Right now it's basically just it's extending base level. For anybody who hasn't seen my videos, the base level is just an abstract class. It's got this kind of debug, or not debug, but sort of temporary thing to send the camera back, and it sets up the default player spawn. So that's what this is, and that's kind of what, if you look here, I just have this, which is basically just a marker, and that's where the player spawns. Let's see if I have it set to spawn in this level or not. Nope. So that's my old zone. I am not an artist. Tasty K, I am not an artist. And I realized that this background, excuse me, this background is it's literally a 16 by 16 tile that I made a giant picture of. And it has some nice, you can see it better in the light. Has a really cool, like slowly flowing shader to it, but I realize it's I'm making a giant picture when I have a 16 by 16 tile, so that's just gonna have to stay how it is for now, and I'll fix that one later. So first off, since I haven't set up my debug bootloader, I'm just gonna come into here and change that to level 3. And there we are. Let me make sure I can move around. Would help my controller was on. Yep. And I can walk off. Okay. Actually, my controller has a back button, so if I put it down, sometimes it ends up it ends up pressing buttons, and that like was a bug that got like I thought I had some weird virus on my computer the other day. Okay. So let's see. So first off, I bring up the old paint. I'm going to talk about kind of what I'm thinking for setting up the world here. So I'm thinking of it in sections of like 640 by 360. I was considering making like actual like sections that load and unload, like maybe 2 sections in front and behind or whatever. 640 by 360 might be a little too small, but for now I'm just going to be authoring it as a 640 by 360. So this is, and I'm not very good at this, so I'm just going to show like the general idea of what I'm kind of planning out here. So this is my first scene. I want to have so there's going to be sort of for each like kind of level section, I want to have a certain like, you know, set piece kind of, or, you know, just a general like spots, and then like kind of figure out paths that go to each one. What was the theme of the game going to be? Oh, it's going to be a turn-based RPG. Yeah, so we're gonna still keep some action. That's one thing I'm looking at. I'm hoping to have another stream, one of the future streams being talking about the design of like how exactly we're going to design that system, and what games are like how we can add the action to the turn-based RPG with adventure aspect. Yeah. So part of what I want to go through today is like go through how I want to set up a couple of like scenes that are sort of like there's no real general you know, lore yet, but kind of have a little bit of environmental storytelling, world building. So let's get started. I'm gonna sort of draw out what I'm thinking here. So I'm gonna start with like I want to start here and have it be like a, you know, beach. It's a beautiful yellow. And the idea is that there's going to be like one exit, like the main exit to the next scene is going to be here. So Ryan, yeah, more like Chrono Trigger than Final Fantasy. I think it's gonna be more like, I'm thinking more like which one is it? Not Mario RPG, like Mario and Luigi maybe, but maybe not. I'm trying to think of a good way to like incorporate the action into like getting into battles, and also like having a little bit of action in the battles, like still keeping it tactical and everything, but sci-fi fantasy like Chrono Trigger. Yeah, well, I mean, this is, you know, obviously the map is inspired by Chrono Trigger. This is the zone that I have, so it's definitely gonna have that feel. Final Trigger, yeah, yeah, I do. For the purposes of making this tutorial, I wanted to make sure that like I want to actually have like a separate battle scene. Like I think maybe like in a final game, I might try to keep that battle scene, and like. I am considering like trying to figure out a cool way to like make the battle scene like use the map that it's on, and just sort of distort it so that there is a different battle scene and all that. Parry and crit timings like Expedition 33 and Paper Mario. Yeah, something like that. I'm also thinking of maybe having like, because I kind of want the main character to be a mage, and I know Tasty K knows my knows my reasoning for that. I'm a big Black Mage fan, and I just thought it'd be cool to have like the main character actually be like the Black Mage spellcaster that needs needs the paladin and the healer to actually be able to survive because they're so squishy. Okay, so before I get too distracted though on that long tangent, let's bring paint back up again, and oh there will be explosions. That is for sure. There will be explosions. The Art of Game Design. I'll have to check that out. That's not 101. I have video game design for dummies. Sorry, I'm looking at my books behind me. I have video game design for dummies. My wife got that one for me. I'm not sure if she was trying to tell me something. Okay. So let's see. So like kind of the first scene is this beach area here. You know what? I'm gonna draw it in white and then highlight in yellow. Beach. We're gonna have some, all the water is gonna be out here. I'm not very good at this, so that's we'll just have to deal with it. And then that beach is gonna sort of kind of fade into grass. Wait. That grass is gonna go up kind of towards that. And so I don't have any real like decorations right now, but eventually there'll be some like decorations and stuff on the beach to make it kind of look nice and stand out. But then importantly, I want to have like sort of a lake here, and that's gonna go down to the ocean there. And then maybe some darker grass like spread around here. And while we're going through it, I'm gonna walk through like kind of my philosophy of like making so I want to have sort of like sand, like a little kind of path that then transitions to sort of like a dirt path to guide the player up here, and then have something that guides the player to, I didn't draw the exit down here, to the secret exit. It's like a secret exit, but it's meant to be like a it's meant to be found, basically. And then whoa, I just knocked everything off my desk. Sorry. I looked away for 1 second. It looks like you drew a what is that? Devouring a soft. Yeah. Yeah, it's not the best drawing in the world. It'll look better than in with the actual tile map. Yeah, so then there's some plans for this scene and this scene, but let's get out of paint and let's actually start working on this in Godot here. So I don't have my TileMapLayers set up, so let me add a TileMapLayer. Gonna add a tile set. I should have my, if I did this correctly, let's see. I have my old one, so I do have a brand new. Yeah, that's the one. All right, yeah, that's what I'm going to be working with. Let's see. And one of the things that I do is I like to, especially with this kind of thing. So it's funny because it's backwards between like a platformer and like a top-down RPG, at least in the way that I like to do it is like, so I have these sort of collider, like I'll make a separate layer that is the colliders. So I like to sort of author the map first and then create the colliders. Whereas if I'm making like a platformer, author the map and then actually draw in what the visuals look like. Oh, that is a good call. I forgot to let Discord know. Yeah, by the way, if you're not in our Discord, you can check out our Discord. There should be a link in the descriptions. Sharma, how did you get into creating videos? I want to start uploading devlogs about my game. Honestly, I just kind of started doing it. It was all started by like there's a particular thing that I couldn't find. Like I was really trying hard to find what I thought would have been a relatively easy thing. Turns out it wasn't that easy, and because there wasn't a tutorial there, I was like, you know, maybe I could try making a tutorial. And I just put that first video out there, and that's and here we are now. Okay, so what do you guys think? Should I set up some terrain and do some auto tilings, or sort of author this thing by hand? Is the Discord link visible? It should be in the it should be in the description or in the channel description, I think. But let me see. Let's start drawing. Okay. Oh, actually, I forgot one thing. I do have this framed. I was going to add a reference rectangle so I could maybe we'll get it when we get to the next one, so I can actually see where my 640 by 360 boundaries are. But nuts. I'd have to add it later. Hey, how you doing, Magneto Mage? Prefer a live and content role because I always mute everyone and hear pings. Yeah, I like yeah, like I'm not really a fan of the way that YouTube adds the, you know, especially on mobile, how it adds the chat. Like it adds it to you know, it's all just in the side or whatever. So yeah, that's like the way I like it. Put the chat on the screen. Okay. You know, first I'm gonna get these guys out of my way. Let's move these guys over there. And now we can focus on the scene. Hold on, let me check. let me check my reference. But that's not the reference. The reference is in paint. Okay. Oops. Oh no, I ruined it. Okay. Got it. All right. Cool. If I didn't have that, I'd be totally lost. Okay. So, and something that I really like, and this was something that I learned from is actually from like looking at, so one thing I do recommend is to like find stuff that like fits your style and or you know kind of what you want it to look like, and you study the art, like especially if you're doing something in pixel art, because one of the things that so I started like looking at like Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger, and something that I noticed, and that's kind of the way that my tiles are set up, is the way that like you notice how like the rounded edges are almost not even rounded. They're almost like 45 degrees, which kind of looks weird, but then like when you see it in context, and maybe this on its own isn't quite fully in context, but like it looks relatively like a natural circle. It's not perfect, but you know, but it does give you a lot more to work with than like the standard like really rounded out corner. Pixel art is crazy because there's some crazy things you can do to get the pixels to blend. Yeah, that's one thing that's something that's on my to-do list is to get the like I really want to get a CRT shader that, you know, not making it look like a CRT, but like all the positives of what CRT did, which was like sort of you know, there's some really smart developers who like made the use the CRT to their advantage. Like I think one of the best examples is the Symphony of the Night, where the Dracula has just 2 red pixels in his eyes, but then if you look at it in a CRT, because they're so bright, it just makes this bright glow on his eyes. And there's all kinds of tricks that they used back in the day. Hey, pixel art is a popular format. What can I say? And it's surprisingly not as easy to do as one would initially think, right? Black Mage was always cool in FF9. Yeah, I really need to replay FF9. I played it back when it came out, whatever year that was. I played it and I did not get the chocobo because I'm gonna close this so I don't get too distracted. I'm too distracted. I'm already all over the place. So, but whatever. This is what you get. In FF9, I skipped the chocobo forest because, like in every other Final Fantasy game, it was like, oh, if you get on the chocobo, you don't get into battles, and it skips over getting experience. So I'm like, oh, I don't need this chocobo. Then I got to the very end of the game where you're gonna go like fight the big bad, and then I was like, well, there's got to be ways to like get the ultimate, like weapons and things like that. And then it's like, oh, make sure you finish leveling your chocobo. And I'm like, leveling your chocobo? What the hell are you talking about? And then I realized how much work I had missed in how you're supposed to level the chocobo for the whole game. It still makes me sad. One day I'll get back to it. Okay, let's see. So we got a nice beach here. This is a beach, nice and calm. We got this nice calm music. And we have the 2026 was the year I was going to learn 3D instead of double down in pixel art games. Yeah, I was kind of considering looking at, 'cause there's actually a very good example of like the 2D that uses a 3D pipeline is Rogue Legacy 2, and it's really cool the way that they set that up, and the 3D pipeline adds like you can have all kinds of different permutations and like sort of do them automatically. Don't forget to have the fast forward buttons and everything these days. Yeah, that is a nice. I've tried to restart Final Fantasy 9 and the start of it's so slow. Okay, so let's get this sort of beach area at least generally filled out. I feel like I need like 8 more monitors because there's so many things that I need to look at. I understand now why some of the streamers have just a room full of monitors. Strap in and enjoy the story. That's my favorite thing to do. Hey, Edwin, how you doing? How long did the cryo loop have to run to cool down that pixel map before you could start adding tiles as this game? I don't know if I can divulge that information. FF9 was just not your thing. The art style was too much. Yeah, for me. So I grew up with Final Fantasy 6. Actually, my introduction to RPGs was Final Fantasy. I had a friend show me Final Fantasy 4 and what was it, Secret of Mana, and said that, oh, these are called RPGs. And yeah, so I do have 2 extra monitors, but I feel like they're not enough. And then after learning that RPGs existed, I went to Blockbusters. This is how long ago it was. And I had a new Sega CD, and then I saw wait, hold on, I have the example. Then I saw here, and I have ooh, I saw, let's see if we can see that. I saw this and the big RPG right there, and was like, "Oh, RPGs. Those are that's the game that my friend told me about." So so I rented it, and also, you know, this game, I don't know if anybody here has played Lunar the Silver Star, but it has a bunch of anime type cutscenes, and so it's like that's the reason that I'm into that I got into anime and so it's anime and RPGs kind of all at the same time. Okay, so let's get to game designing. So next up, so I have my grass on sand here, and the idea is I'm just gonna get a rough idea of where I want this grass to be. You know what? I don't know why I turned this. I'm gonna turn off my canvas modulate. It's so bright. Do. Man, this is a good song. Whoever wrote this is a really good musician. I had to change my music from what the last one was. Oops. FF6 Chiron. I can't remember which FF6 was my first, but which FF was your first, but FF6 was the one that I come home to. Oh yeah, FF6 is by far like my favorite. So I technically played 4. Oh, yeah, I played 4 a little bit, you know, which was known as 2 in America, and but FF6 was the one that I owned and was like the first one that really made it made an impact. That's such a good game. So there's an argument to be made versus like the, you know, hand authoring the tiles like this and sort of, or yeah, using a terrain map. Hey, you read my mind. I don't know if you said that, Ryan. I don't know if you said that before I did, but I was just about to talk about auto tiling. Yeah, you know what? I think it might be worth setting up auto tile. Let me think about. Yeah, I'll set up some terrains just in general. Oh, I should name this my ground. I do want to save this tile set. I'll worry about that later. So let's see. So physics, terrain sets, add terrains, match corners and sides, terrains, add element. Let's see. So I have sand. Not sand 0, I have sand. I have grass. And let's see how it does with my very simple setups, because I definitely don't have the full size auto tiling thing. Yeah, try. Well, yeah, it's hard for me to finish RPGs now that I have a kid, because it's hard to like sit down for a long amount of time. And since I started this channel, like basically my free time is working on either, you know, making this game or making the next video or setting these kind of things up. So let's see, we're gonna have grass, we're gonna have deep grass, dark, yeah, what do I call it? Thick grass. I like thick. All right, so let's see. So now if I go to tile set, let's look at this thing. Okay, so I want to paint terrains. Terrain, let's start with sand. I'm probably gonna need a different color but this is sand. You know, it's interesting somehow, maybe it's because I tend to use the same thing, but somehow the colors for like grass always tends to be the green one. So I have to change every color every time I make a terrain. Okay, so I'm gonna set where that is. This is just a simple square. There isn't a fill tool that I don't know about or anything, is there? Because especially when there's the shape like let me see if I can pull this up. Oh, I didn't save it. There's like the sort of usual let me see. I have a terrain, like I have like a template. Yeah, there's like this general shape. But then having to write the mask for it on every time on every level is such a pain. Okay, so anyways, we have, okay, so that's sand with nothing. Next terrain we'll paint in is grass. We're just painting in the grass. This is just our grass here. That's the main grass tile. They do more of a Bob Ross thing. I'm gonna end up too much like a certain other channel that ended up not going so well. See, this is just it's a nice little grass. Not really, just the box draw tool. That's true. So yeah, like once you do it once, but I like if you have I'm just saying if you have like yeah, if you have multiple tile sets for different levels, like if you're doing the version that is the one that I have, like that covers every possible connection, that's a lot to draw even for one picture. Okay, and we said we have grass on sand. Oop, see, there we go. Oh my goodness. Gotta be more careful here. I'll zoom in so I don't do that. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. All right, so we have grass on sand. And let's see, I'm gonna set this grass. Actually, maybe I don't want that yet. Well, let's see what happens. So if I make this, I'm gonna have grass on like the thick grass. Sorry, I'm thinking. I'm just gonna make this one so it knows what thick grass is. And the problem with it, having multiple terrains is then it doesn't know exactly what to draw. Yeah, autofill would really be nice. Like especially like I'm looking at this shape, and like it'd be so nice to just like you draw the outside, have a autofill, and or even just like in the holes like down here, if I've got like grass on water, like you could just fill in the rest as a different color. But it is what it is. There are some plugins I think that'll let you that will let you do it, but I think they're kind of buggy because it has to edit like I think it edits like the text file directly. Okay, I think that's enough for testing this out. So let's see how it looks. I could write one. That's true. Actually, I'm hoping I'm hoping to write a plugin for like the debug like bootloader. It's one of those things that it should be simple, but once I get into it, maybe it turns out it's not so simple. Okay, so where are we? Terrains, sand. Let's see. Yeah, that actually. Okay, you know what? This is better. I got stuck in Lunar, if that's the one I remember. Yeah, Lunar is very old. So there was a remake, and there just was a remaster of the remake, which is on like PS5 and Xbox and PC and all that right now. Hey, Scrooge, how you doing? I can read your chat now. Good to see you. So the original Sega CD Lunar like if you have, it doesn't tell you what the spells or items do. You're meant to have the manual to look it up. And what's worse is it orders them by like the last one you used. So it's not even like, oh, I can count on the bottom spell being my strongest one or whatever. It's just like you have a name, and like one of the character's strongest spells is called Bye Bye Air. I was like, what do I make of this if I just see this in a list without anything going with it? But the remakes that are now that you can get now are actually pretty good. My main issue with Silver Star was that they changed, for some reason they changed the background music, and so I have so much nostalgia of the music that it's I'm like, why would they do this? And also, the worst thing is that it comes with, 3 discs for the PlayStation and then a disc that's the soundtrack, but the soundtrack is of remixed versions of the Sega CD songs. And I just looked this up. It turns out that they were going to do that for the American release. They were going to add the real music as an option, but I guess there wasn't room on the disc, and so that's why it doesn't exist. Okay, let's start drawing some thick grass. Let's see how we're doing on our shape here. Are we matching up to what we got? Yep, so far so good. Okay, so if I want to draw thick grass, oh yeah, so I guess if it doesn't really know what to do, although I can fix it. So yeah, it's on thick grass. So now if it's over alpha, it'll know what to do. And these middle ones, I think, should be slightly different, so it gives it a little variety. And again, grass is green here, so let's make it not the same color as the other grass, but there we go. Do you have sound design experience? If so, what do you use for it? I actually do have so I was in a band. Like, if anyone caught that one video, that was actually my band that played for about half a second. It was an old clip. I mean, it was so old it was taken on a camcorder, I think. But yeah, so I use Logic Pro. I'm trying to find a good. I have Ableton on Windows, but I haven't really messed around with it too much. So yeah, I've actually been doing sound design and sound like mixing and mastering. Like, never officially learned anything. Never did anything official, but I do have that experience. Let's see. So now it should know how to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Except then it gets kind of weird when you. But whatever. It's easier to sort of draw that. Yeah, I'm going to turn that off. It's a little easier to see. Okay, so the general idea that I'm going with here is that I'm trying to lead the player to, let me give him a fun destination. Plot of dirt. There, that's where I'm trying to lead the player. It'll be there and like over there. So part of that is sort of the dark grass here, and I should have just gone with terrains. The thick grass here, which is having a little bit of trouble figuring out what it's on, but that's probably my fault. It's sort of made in this way to, man, I think I made it worse by adding the grass over alpha. Can I undo that? Hopefully. I'll just have it so that the oh no, never mind. Oh wait, redo. Yeah. Whew. It doesn't know that there's how to do thick grass on regular grass. That was my problem. Okay, so I'll finish drawing this terrain, and then we'll get back to drawing the map. Regular grass, be careful. Yeah, so but as far as love Control Z. That's as a programmer, Control Z, Control V. No, Control C is a really big one too. That's something that that is very important. The pink painting I'm doing. So this is for the like the auto tile terrain. So I have sand. Maybe yeah, I should change this color so it's not quite the same as sand. I'll make it a sandish color. There we go. So essentially what it's doing is it's telling, so the center of each one, in theory you can leave it blank, but the center tells it what the tile is. So in this case, the center being orange says it's thick grass, and then it's showing how to connect other tiles. So if it's next to grass, it knows, oh, I can put this tile or this tile or this tile depending on what's next to it. And so that should let you be able to then choose the terrain. Like I have thick grass here, so I can have it over the water. And now it knows how to do it over the... It's a little confused since there's sand there, but yeah, there we go. Okay, so then this is just trying to lead the player up over towards here. Just going to make a little patch there. Yeah, the hard part about this is then like... and I should have made... I don't want to paint it now, but I'm just going to do this. Oh, oops. I'm just going to do the tile. Hey, Piece of Blood. Yeah, I'm making a old school... Well, my design is to be like old school with using some new tech. Like there's a... It's a little hard to see. Well, I have... Here, I'll add the environment. So I do have like a normal mapped and shadered water. You know, there's a shader on the water to make it sort of do what it's doing. So I want to try to combine like the old school style with the you know, with a little bit of flair to make it look nice without like, you know, overdoing it. Hopefully, yeah. There's a chance I overdo it, but that's always fun. Okay, so I'm gonna paint in this terrain a little bit more, and then I'm gonna start sort of hand authoring here. It was the original Lunar game you're playing, so maybe you can find... Yeah, so they are... I'm a little unhappy with it because the remaster is almost just the PlayStation version, but I mean they're pretty good games. My issue is it was just so hard with the new music, but actually I think Eternal Blue is the second one. That's probably a better game. Is there a vid coming on how you set up the water? I can... Well, so it's definitely less than ideal right now. I can show you what it's doing. So it really is just... Actually, it looks cooler with the... So right now I have like the same sun that I used for this scene just because it has some light attached to it. I was thinking maybe it makes sense. Actually, now that you say that, I want this light to cast. Oh, I'm gonna try to... As I get distracted, I'm adding things to the stack. I'm hoping I can pop things off and remember where I am. So let's see, light mask. Okay, light mask for that is 1. Light mask for this is... Oh wait, no, that's I'm looking at the wrong thing. I don't call mask 2. Ah. Dude. Maybe that's not so nice. The water is normal mapped. Okay, we'll keep it like that. Okay, so yeah, back to the water. So it's not ideal right now because it actually is a 16 by 16 tile that is a just gigantic image. Yeah, 656 by 376. So yeah, I'm not really taking advantage of the tiling there. But I that's something that I just didn't have time to get done, which is like, okay, I'm just gonna put the big thing on there. So I have that, and I have a normal map for it, which basically just kind of goes along the line, you know, it goes along the lines there and sets up where the shadows are. I feel like the water should be animated. Yeah, you can see it moving, right? It does. Actually, what I'm doing right here is because it looked really cool with the so if I set it to, I might overdo it with the way it is now, but if I set it to like a linear filter, like that looks cool, but it's like it's just a little bit too much in my opinion. And so let me get into the shader here. So this is, I think this is it. Yeah, water wavy. So what I'm actually doing is I have like this soft filter that's running on. So because I ran into issues and just ran out of time, like I have it running on the normal map, and the way that this works is you can only send in one sampler texture. So I just had to choose the normal map over the over sending both of them in. And actually I think it looks kind of cool. So the normal map is filtered, and then this is just sort of let me see if I can pull up the material, shader material. So yeah, there's just sort of just a little bit of distortion, waviness, ripple. It's been a while since I looked at this, so here I can make this size a little bit bigger. Is it moving or is it the shrooms? Could be both. Let's see. So yeah, so I'm just sort of distorting the X and Y UV over time. I'm grabbing the noise texture. Yeah, I just remember messing around with these you know, magic numbers a little bit. And then yeah, so the actual texture is just using the distorted UV, and then the normal map is running through one more like sort of linear like soft, like I guess I don't know if nearest is the right way to name it, but it's like a soft linear filter, which is let's see, which is all of this stuff. Thanks. Okay, so now I want to get into the hand authoring part of my tile map. Yeah, at this rate, we're gonna get half a tile map done. I have four. I have plans for 4, so we can go for a while. But yeah. But I kind of like hanging out and talking. So if I lose track of anything, if there's something that I leave hanging, let me know. Would this be considered a shader? Yes, it is a shader that's on. So it's the so this is a sprite 2D that then has you get a material, yeah, shader material, and it creates the shader. And so like all of these things here are these uniform things here. Okay. So now, so the really cool thing that I like, and this was something that I talked about a little bit on my test stream, but it was a test stream, so if I could open up my tile map, I could actually. Okay. So one thing that, so when I was kind of like trying to figure out my, you know, what I wanted my style to be, yeah, I've looked into to do a dual grid. That's something I would consider trying. It's neat. So something that that Chrono Trigger does, which is where I saw this, is sort of doing this. A lot of its tile maps look a lot like this. So you get these paths, and then if I pull this back up, you can see the path is like it's like in between the tiles. And the real cool thing about that is for like a level like this, if you're kind of, there's not much level here, but like if you're kind of leading the player to this path, like, let's see if I can pull up the grid here and actually still see what I'm talking about. Then your path is sort of centered on the entrance. Oh, there's a plugin for the dual grid maps. Yeah, that's one of those things. It's been on my mind as something to try out, but I haven't gotten to it yet. All right, so this is going to be sand that's sort of moving this way. And this is where these guys come in. I found that is helpful. And then maybe one there, and then I'm gonna need this, that, and that. Basically, that's nice dual grid maps as an in-game engine type. Yeah, beautiful. About to try that. Is it doing kind of the same thing that I'm doing with this? This one might look better if it's a little more rounded. So the general idea here is like I'm kind of wanting to visually lead the player. Maybe it's a little much right now, but like have a, if the player like spawns here. Actually, let's see it in game. Well, let's assume the player spawns here. Then there's sort of this, there's a path that wants me to go this way. And then having, the dark grass here, it's like there's no colliders anyways, but there would be a collider here. Or it wouldn't be a collider because you can walk on this, but it's also sort of almost like a soft collider. As you see this dark grass, that's kind of telling you, oh, I can, go up that way. And then that's actually sort of the point of, which I'll have to show on my awesome drawing here. That's sort of the point of this section over here, is that we're guiding the player up towards here while allowing them to walk on here. So it's like, oh, you can explore, but then like this, there's going to be a section here that's like, there's a lake, and then there's sort of a, inlet or stream or whatever going into the lake, which actually blocks the player. So it's like, okay, I do have to go up and around. And then making this the obvious path, and then adding a couple like breadcrumbs to know that, oh, there's something over here too. Are there going to be terrain step sound different for each tile? Oh, Magnetomage. That's that would be interesting. That I believe it could be done. I mean, it definitely could be done. I'm just thinking of how I would do that. That's I don't know if I can do that right now, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, like walking on the sand and here, going from that to grass here in a different like crunch versus walking on grass. That sounds really cool. Meant to ask it in the test stream, what should we call you? Fat Earth Studio. Yeah, that's true. But my name is Danny. I guess if anybody doesn't know that, you can call me Danny. My name's out there. I usually see that implemented as a process function that checks player coordinates against the tile map coordinates and a custom tile property. But it feels like a better way. Yeah, my first instinct would be to have something in the similar to like physics layer that would check what you're on. His name is Princess Trout. Don't start that. Hi, how you doing? Oh, now Oh man, yeah, my character in maybe I shouldn't. Well, it's too late now. I have a character in a game that's named Princess Trunks. Actually, in a lot of games, if I'd make a female character, I name them Princess Trunks, which is from if anybody doesn't know, it's from Dragon Ball Abridged, which I highly recommend. And actually, a Fat Earth Studios, I guess factoid would be that there is a Dragon Ball Abridged reference in every single video. Not really on purpose, but just sort of in the way that I made it. Like, you know, if I needed a placeholder or something, I'd use a quote for it. Like, some of them are very overt, some of them are not. So if anybody, it's funny. It took a while for some of the DBZA fans to like start popping up in the chat, and yeah, Team 4-Star. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball, you know, support the release, but then also watch watch Team 4-Star. Dodge, yes. Why didn't you dodge? That was my that was my in Monster Hunter. That was my message whenever anybody KO'd. Okay, make some dirt here. Sounds of walking would be neat based on what the terrain there. Yeah, that is a really cool. That's something that I'm gonna again, me and Magneto. I understood your joke after like 3 days. I don't know if you saw that when I was writing notes. You said tattooing on dead trees. I'm gonna make a note to look at that. On Discord, are you adding a channel to connect with each other? Yeah, that's been on the to-do list. So that was part of I did add for projects, and I think like that goes well. Like the next step was to maybe add something for where people can, you know, to say what their skills are. So somebody could, yeah, oh, I need an artist. Maybe like let's see if I can find an artist. Okay, what was the note I was going to take? Oh, terrain noises. I'm sure that'll make sense to my future self. Oh, this is another one of my this one's one of my original tracks. Okay, so let's get this whole thing to take its shape here. Hold on, let me look at my reference. But isn't the character a ghost? So the only reason the character is a ghost is because I'm not that great at drawing, and I really needed to make something, and so I made this character. So I actually I don't know if we'll get to it. Let's see if I have it. But I did give, it's kind of horrifying. I don't know if you guys could see that. I did make a ghost that has a body. So it's a little ridiculous. Oh, you can't hear the music? Let me see. Can you hear the music now? He is. I think the side on look is a little oops. Where'd he go? I lost him. The side on look is a little interesting. I made this in like 10 minutes last night, so don't judge me on that. Music's pretty quiet. Okay. Yeah, that's something that I've had trouble with in both making videos and now the live streaming, is that with headphones on, it's like clear as day, and then with speakers, it's harder to hear. So Sent a screenshot of someone implementing a custom data layer for tile types. Oh, cool. I'll check that out. So let's see. So I'm just going to quickly kind of draw in. So to make the lake here, I'm gonna just draw like around it. Oh man, I didn't make a tile. I didn't make alpha grass. I can do that quickly. Oop. Oop. Okay. Terrains, grass. Okay, so I'm sort of gonna draw around where that lake would be, something like that, and we can refine all that later. So let's at least get the whole like general map in place. Sorry, I could have been doing this the whole time. And then I have some. I have mountains to add too, so that'll come next. Painting minis while watching. All right. All right. Let's see. Let me finish up the add a little sand here. Just kind of lead in over here. This. I like this this track. Okay, then we'll work on making that. All right, I gotta take a quick break. So I will be right back in like about 2 minutes or so. So I'll see you guys back in like in 2 minutes. Hello. Did everybody have a good break? I figure I'm not of the level where I can just like get up and go to the bathroom and you guys will wait for me. Let me see. You guys can hear me again, right? I'm gonna go through this every single time because I'm gonna be I'm glad that you finished your glass of milk, Cameron. That was for you. That was we chilling. Okay, there's one thing that I wanted to show. There was something that. So, has everybody here played Chrono Trigger? So I'm going to give a slight spoiler if you haven't. I had a couple things ready to pull up, but sorry, let me see. Actually, so I have a lot of the Chrono Trigger stuff for reference here. Where is? Sorry, I should probably be looking at this over here. I'm gonna give too much away. Lapos. I was so mad, but that like because on New Game Plus, if you go and beat Lavos right away, you get the special like fast ending. But then there's a time where you fight Lavos early in the game, and it's a supposed to lose battle. And even on New Game Plus, it was so freaking hard. Oop! I decided everything kind of mess up on me. Everybody, can you guys still see me? Someone say yes in the chat. Everything just kind of went weird. Okay. Yeah, it's raining outside, and if and we have a wire outside that shorts out, and then our internet goes out. So I'm a little bit worried about that right now. Thank you. Sorry, let me pull this up. Trying to find a good example here. Did that open? What? looks a little familiar, huh? But something that they do really well in Chrono Trigger is they have this. I kind of mentioned this lovely YouTube live delay. Yeah, I have it set to have not much of a delay, but it's I guess it grows, doesn't it? If you look at the grid, like that. This is where I sort of saw how they do that 45-degree angle thing, and it's really neat because it makes things look natural. It like gives you the ability to have circular enough while also sort of having like a continuous line, as opposed to something that would look more like like that. Do that so I don't draw over the same thing. But so this is the thing that blew my mind. It's probably everybody's. It's really not that big a deal, but there's pretty much every place in the game. If you look at it, I'm trying to find one more file. I can't find it, whatever. Like every place in the game, like even like the interiors have angled edges and all of that. And there's, as far as I know from everything that I've looked at, there's one place that does not have angled interiors at all, and that is the interiors of Zeal. Which, if you know what Zeal is, I mean, if you look at this, like every single thing is cornered and like, yeah, okay, maybe you have stairs that are diagonal, but other than that, it's all unnatural corners, very harsh. And it's one of those things that you don't really think about, but it's, part of what makes Zeal so cool is that, like, the outside looks like this paradise is this floating, like, paradise island in the sky. And, but there's something off about it, which we eventually learn what that is. So that's not what blew my mind. That was just something that I thought was cool, because it's like it's just neat, like art direction. But there's one other place that. Oh, Karen, you did notice strange architecture for Zeal. Yeah, I never made the connection until like I had actually like looked at the way. I was looking at the other maps, seeing how like, oh, everything is angled. That's kind of a neat thing. And then I happened to pull this one up and was like, oh wow, that's cool. This place is any other place like this? And the one other place, so it does still have a bit of rounding, but it is Magus's castle, is all very straight. Which I guess earmuffs if you don't want me to spoil anything, but Magus, the spoiler for about the next 30 seconds, Magus was born in Zeal and went through time back to somewhere around the year 600. I guess that would be forward in time for him. And so the fact that these what are you talking about? I copied this myself. I drew all this from directly from but when I was looking for other maps that might be that might not have that angled look to it, this was the only other one. And so it's like it has a little bit of angling and a little bit more natural, but the fact that it like has that same sort of design, I don't know if it was a conscious decision that the developers made, but it's really kind of a cool revelation to me. Or just like, it's like more of a neat factoid, I guess. I was hoping to find like one more interior area. If I can't find it in like 10 seconds or so, I'll let it go. But let me see. Give me 5 more seconds. If I don't find it in 5 seconds, then that'll be it. I could have sworn I had an interior something somewhere. Well, I don't have one. Okay. Ayla's time period with the bone prison layer. I don't think I have. I don't think I have. So I have the. Let's see. I mean, that's outside, so it's mangled. But yeah, like the Tyranno layer. So even so one I do have is even like the undersea palace and like futuristic areas. I looked at this yesterday, and I definitely have had it. I thought, but even that one is like, it's harsh, but it's all angles. But like the Tyranno layer and places like that, I believe. I mean, maybe I am wrong. Maybe it is more squared off, but it's pretty leveled off. And I wish I don't know what happened to it. What I wanted to show was like the interiors of because some like the way that like the edges of screens work, because most of them are diagonal. Like it would be, the black would be like that. Yeah. So that was something that was kind of cool. Okay. Oh, there's lightning. Please don't go out on me, internet. Okay. Let's see. Back to the plan. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to, let's see. I'm just going to sort of do this by hand. And I'm not going to make this the stream going into the lake here. Actually, I probably want that a little further over here. I'm thinking on how I want to set this up. Yeah, that's it. I am in Florida. I hope that's not giving too much away. Actually, in an area where if we happen to get a tornado, there's a lake maybe a couple miles away that is filled with gators, and we can have a gator-nado. It's actually something that's possible here. So surviving Florida is I'm actually born and raised Floridian. There aren't too many of those. I'm sorry. No, actually, I like Florida. Maybe it's shoot, I'm blanking on the term, but maybe it's I keep wanting to say imposter syndrome, Stockholm syndrome, from living here for so long. Now they know you're in Florida, near gators. In Florida, near gators. Yeah, that really narrows it down. There's if you're in Florida and there's water and it's wet, there's probably a gator in it. Let's see. Cool, good enough. And let me see. So my off screen is right there. Okay. Were you raised on the floor? No, but we did used to catch the little gecko lizards, and they'll bite down on anything, and you put them on your ear, and it's like an earring, and they'll hang from your ear. That's something we did as kids. That was a fun Florida thing. I don't know if kids in Florida still do that. Sorry, I'm trying to get this out to the water. Let's see. This is why I should have made my reference rectangle. Okay. Oh, I'm just gonna add that right reference rect. I could probably just set this to full screen, but whatever. I want you to be all green. And 2 pixels. Yee. The neat thing about the reference rect is that it's like designed to just not show up on screen. 640 by, oh, I was very close. So I believe if I run the game, yeah. So I run the game, it doesn't show up in game, so it gives you something to reference. The starting area is looking pretty nice. Is there an eyedrop pool? Is there an eyedrop tool? In paint programs, holding control and clicking can copy the tile. Yeah, I'm not using my. Yeah, is there a way? Because I know, like, let me try, like, alt. Like the tile map in Sprite is hitting alt and going, and moving the mouse wheel will change it. But if there's a faster way to, like, instead of picking these to scroll through them. Making terrain maps when doing regular grid tile maps. You're not using it because you prefer to keep it simple for now. So I did make some terrains, and the idea is, the terrains sort of give me my rough idea, and then from there, like, then I kind of can hand author it because I don't have I don't have everything. So. Yeah, auto tile. I mean, if you're like building a ton of stuff, I'd probably be building this a little bit quicker if I wasn't telling stories and getting sidetracked and all that. But that's a fun. That's why we're here. But if that, I lost my train of thought. If you were, like, especially if you needed, like, a modular system or something, like, auto tile is very helpful in that situation. But I just kind of like the with the style I'm going for, with the sort of like the in between the lines look here. I want this to kind of straighten out a little bit before it hits the water. Yeah. Will that work? Maybe that, and then something like that. Yeah. Oh, no. Not yeah. There, and boom. Let me just finish this here, and that there. And I can make... Oh, I thought I had an alpha version of that. Oh, you're gonna have to be that. Okay, that works. Let's see. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. Holding down control or just pressing P activates the color picker. Is that ooh. Yeah. Thank you. That is useful. I'm just gonna sort of fill this in. Actually, that should probably be that guy. And then we'll give it like one of those. Wait, P. Yeah. Aha. Now we're cooking with gas. Oh, that's where this runs into a bit of trouble when you run into the situation where I need to have like sand on grass before I have the dark grass. It's one of those where, like, you know, the limitation sort of breeds creativity, but sometimes it does make things take a little bit longer. Yeah, P, click, boom. Nice. Let's see how that looks without the grid. Actually, I'm gonna turn the grid off, so I got a big arrow. Let's see. I want that more like that. And then I can shape it from there. And I like having, like, so I do have a the thick grass on thin grass and then thin grass on thick grass, because you can kind of make something like you can have this next to maybe above it like that. Let me make that a full thing. So you can kind of, it gives you a chance to, let me actually make this the right tile there. So you can add a little bit of extra edging to it. Is edging the right word? Am I using that correctly? So I think I kind of like having that, and then maybe have just, oops, I do want you. That's looking good. Edging is a gardening fresh term. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that I was edging correctly. All right, now I'm going to do the terrain. Help speed this up a little bit. So the idea is that the player comes over here and spawns, and they want to kind of move this way. If they move this way, they see the lake. You know, actually, I kind of want to move. So I'm gonna move where the stream is a little bit. So I think I can select these, right? Boop. Yeah, so the stream isn't there right away. Then I can hit D to draw. I don't want to draw all that. Oh, yeah, I lost it. Yeah, there we go. Oops. That doesn't work. Whatever, I'm just gonna get rid of that. We got water coming in. Are you adding collision physics to the decorative tiles, or do you plan Manjobo? I can imagine in the future adding physics layer info to every tile set could get tiring. Yeah, so my thought process for this one is, and I know there's different ways of doing this, is that I talked about this a little bit earlier, but so sort of authoring the level geometry, and then I have I'm gonna have an invisible layer. Let's see, do I have it in I believe I had it open in Aseprite here. Do I? Yeah, so like I make like these collider textures that, like, the pink is where the collider is, and then just make it not visible. And so that, that allows me to draw it on. And there's going to be, especially with the way that this map is, there's going to be some places where I have to use like a special like area 2D to make it a collider. But I can't say. Let me make sure I save this. So I can show an example of that in Gigadude 2 here. Which again, this is I'm gonna close the window. Don't look at that. It's a work in progress. Actually, I do need to open that. So like if I weren't remaking a level, my idea, like, I would kind of block out. And the reason I'm using like the different pink and purple is because if you use the auto tool, This is something that drives me nuts. If you use like, so yeah, these have the colliders on them while the other stuff is just visual. But if you use the auto tool with just one, you get, and it's really not that big of a deal, but it's just like one of those things that bothers me. So if I literally have a different layer of physics to say like, okay, that's a square, that's a square, that's a square. Oops. And oh, it's still screwing up. Whatever. But yeah, the general idea is to, for the top-down map, it's going to be a little bit more. It's going to take it a bit more finesse than just having squares. Cloudhead, that mountaintop with the trees, one of the most gorgeous scenes in it. Oh yeah, yeah. This I'm not saying that this lives up to it, but it's definitely inspired by it. Although I don't know if anybody can tell where the clouds are inspired from. I actually did draw those myself, but it is very heavily based on something. Oh, and one more cool thing while we're here. I added this. So the fire can go out. So I just made it a tool script, and it gets rid of the sprite and the light. Okay, well, let's hurry up and finish this up so we can get to actually making a, see if we can code the transition here. It looks like a party with a mage firing a firebolt. Clouds maybe look like the golden sun flare spell. It's so it's based on the okay, spoilers for Final Fantasy VI. It's based on the World of Ruin skyline. Yeah, let's make this lake go out a little bit more, sort of naturally guiding this way. Oops. Oop, no, that's not what I want. Oop, that's not what I want. What am I doing? I'm doing it backwards. Oop. Yeah, pay more attention to what I'm doing. There we go. Flame go poof. Yes, well, so one thing I'm working on is I'm thinking of going over abilities in the next video. So, you know, don't tell anyone, it's a secret. All you the 40 people that are watching this and whoever watches the VOD. But I'm planning on like just sort of doing a rough ability system, and I'm hoping to be able to make a pretty neat explosion to go with that. Man, that's just gonna have to be that way for now. And I actually looked at what like what Final Fantasy, like the Ultima spell in Final Fantasy VI is, and how that works. And I obviously don't have to have the same constraints that they did, but oops. But it's I think it's gonna look really cool. Okay, let's I'm gonna stop yapping for a minute and try to finish this out. Although no promises on the no yapping. All right, this is sort of like telling the character, don't go over here. There's nothing for you here. Draw some grass. Let's see. I have another patch over here. Draw a friendly little bush. No, I want you to be this tile. Okay, let's see if I can make this little path going this way. I want to have some dirt be the guide. I want it to be able to curve a little bit more than it is. Oops. Let me see if I can do that. Could make another layer on top of it. Actually, you know what? I did kind of like how there was this sort of meeting of the sand and dirt. I'm trying to think, how did I do that? Yeah, it would be impossible to pull up my reference, wouldn't it? There's one down, one up. Okay. Wait, what the hell did I do? That to still be sand. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now it makes sense why there's sort of like some dirt there. And I do have like a decorator that'll go on top. The decorations that I haven't made yet. Yeah, if you guys are interested, so auto tiling there's a way to do it with like the mountains that's kind of cool, but it involves like you'd have to set the tile sheet specifically for it, which I mean, it's not the end of the world, but okay, that's what I'm looking for. You go like that and like that. I'm gonna draw myself some more grass just to the edge over here. Preserve where my exit is. Okay, and it probably makes sense for there to be like a bit of a break in the where that dirt path is, and then kind of have it come back over here. Oops. I made too close. That to go into a smaller, let me see. Yeah, that and like that. Yeah, okay, we're keeping it like that. And there. Yeah, Scrooge, I'd love to do a game jam. Yeah, part of it's been kind of figuring out the time. Like I was caught completely unprepared with the first video blowing up as it did. And so I feel like I've been scrambling ever since then, but now that there's hopefully a little bit more time, knock on wood. Yeah, Yeah, like doing a game jam would be fun. Okay. All right, let me just I'm gonna do terrain and just sort of finish this off. This will go. Eventually, there'll be like a rock or cliff there somewhere. Oh, it's destroying my grass. Do I have grass on sand as an option? Okay, let's see how it looks. Now I could. Oh, you know what? Let's get the environment right. So I'm gonna grab player spawn, move the camera and the player spawn down there. Let's make sure that that's on a level where I can see it. And one of the things that's on my to-do list is to get the camera system working. The camera 2D is sort of just a let's see, top is gonna be 0, right is gonna be 640, I believe. Let's turn off that. Where to put my reference rect? Yep. Okay. So let's see what we got so far. Okay, so the character starts here. Oh, what's going on? Oh, maybe. Oh, there's a lake. Come over here. Oh, I can't go over there. But I can see that there's an exit over there. That's important, especially if I move my camera. It looks a little janky, but it's there. And there's no colliders yet. But you know what? I think that's pretty good. I'm going to hit save. And I'm going to check that in. Make sure I have my LFS right and the PNGs. Yep. Make the rough first section. Okay, cool. So now if I screw up, I can get back to this. Yeah, I believe there is I'd be shocked if there wasn't a plugin. I know I've seen Godot Godot that has like Git plugins and stuff like that, but having it work, I'm just so used to using Git Bash. That's just the way that I do it. And actually, just because this, it's been so long since I worked in this, I would like that to go over one more. Oop, not that. No, not that. That. Oh, happy bug fixing. Thank you for being here. Yeah. Yeah, if anybody isn't on the Discord link I hope is in the it should be in the channel description or in the video description or the oops. Or it should be in the video. If it's not, I'll make sure that it is when when the VOD goes up. Add-ons work. It's just surprised it's not fully integrated. And so there is a way to set yeah, I think that's better like that. there's a way to set like get metadata in Godot, so it's part of it. I've always, you know, the only thing I've ever really used is git bash. Okay, so now. Okay, so now on this. Sorry, I gotta pull up my notes on this because I'm doing this completely. I did not pre-make anything here, so I want to make a transition, and it's gonna be rough. It's not gonna be anything like perfect. If I could actually see my notes. Sorry. Sorry. Again, I think I need to buy like 3 more monitors before the next stream, so I can keep an eye on what's going on and not always be like looking away. All right, yeah, NYE, thanks for stopping by. I think just today, my daughter's coming home tonight, and she's been gone for the week. But yeah, I'll if I'm up, I'll try to catch you on your stream. So so thanks for being here. Magneto, when you start a project, it asks you if you want Git. So oh yeah, it does ask you, and then there's a way. I think I remember going over in my Git video. I don't remember off the top of my head, but there is a way to like tools, version control. Yeah, you can set the settings in there as well. Yeah, have a good one. Okay, so now I gotta go from. I've gotta change from a from an art mindset to a programming mindset. I'm trying to think if I should make. This should definitely be its own scene. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna take a let me rubber duck this out. So I'm gonna create an area 2D that detects when the player enters it. When the player enters it, it sends a signal. The signal, I think the signal's gonna have to go through the base level. So you know the level that it's in. So when that level gets the signal, then that signals to main game. It's probably not the way I'll do it in the end of it, but that'll signal to main game. Hey, a scene change request has occurred. So, basically, it's going to call the load level function. So, in theory, it should call it as if I'm calling that, and by just calling that, it should work. And just right now, I'm just going to leave it like it is and just have it load into that level. So we'll have and like, you know, one of the next things I'm going to do is add like the debug interface so that we can, you know, switch scenes without doing that. Diversion. I've never tried that. Yeah, at any level of version control is good. I like ever since using Git and learning how version control works and being saved by it. I don't think I could go back to not having it. It's so nice to be able to like check something in and then like just delete everything and be able to get it back if you really screw something up. Okay. So what I'm going to want here is I'm going to want an area 2D. When it enters it, sends a signal. Again, I'm getting hurt by my tiny font here. Just debating whether to make it a new scene or make it its own thing. Yeah, I'm going to start with a new scene. Okay, new scene. Level transition, make you an area 2D. Change type. I supposedly hit get in it everything I plan to work on for more than like 10 minutes. Yeah, there's like pretty much anything that I work on, like maybe it'll be a fun thing to do around Christmas time. There's a classic like multi-threading thing that's like the Santa problem, and like I was just doing that for fun to like kind of refresh my memory on Thread since I hadn't worked with them in a while. I don't know if they work too well in Godot, but yeah, it was C++, so it's this local thing. Like got get in it, make sure that I have Git running like at least locally. Beelzebub, you are correct. It can break, but it's better than nothing. It's better than raw dogging it. Okay, so for the level transition, let me see. So I want this to be looking for the player. Create a new folder. Does this make sense? Under gameplay transition, level transition, save that in there. Source gameplay. Okay. And let's attach a script. This is built-in functions. Yes, great. Okay, so the way this is going to work is this is going to have a signal. Let's see what I want to have. So first off, before I forget, I want to have, I'm typing in C. I want to have a guard so that it doesn't trigger multiple times. Say like has triggered. Let me make that a little bit bigger. Let me know if you guys can't see that. And then yeah, so on the ready function, wait, sorry, I just had a brain fart. Okay, yeah, sorry. What are the this is how game dev usually is. Yeah. It's like yeah, I came in confident and then I'm like, oh man, it's been a while since I worked with this stuff. So yeah, so on 90% brain fart. Oh, it worked. There it is. Area entered dot connect on. Oh no, I want body entered. Body entered on body entered. Entered. Did I spell that correctly? Yeah, it's a lot of plates to keep in the air. on body entered. If, oh, now I wanted to double check. I do have this player as a, oh, okay, it is, I do have a player type, okay. Because for now, the only thing that'll be checking it is a player. So if not, oh wait, body, which is a node 2D. If not, right, if body is not player, return. Oop, what did I do? Expected, did I put a space in there somewhere? Or do I just not have, what did I do wrong? I could just do that. Now I'm forgetting how to code. If body, which is, so the body enters, is a node 2D. Oh, node 2D. That's why. There we go. Not the biggest of planners. You just have a list of things that need doing, and I go down the list. Yeah, that's generally, yeah, but the to-do list on my first Mega Man project got too big, and then I started another one, and there's a big to-do list on that now. Excuse me. I'm drinking too much. We got another one ready. Too much of these LaCroix. There we go. That's what I was missing. Okay. I'm gonna connect. Body entered, on body entered. Okay, so for right now, I'm just going to do print debug player entered the body. And just in case, print debug somehow something other than player entered. Yeah, I think so I considered having so if we do get into collisions, I did have, so I'd already written like some of the collision stuff for the character body 2D, so I did I do have that on the side that I can sort of copy paste, or I would assume a lot of times if people are doing things relatively quickly, I mean sometimes people are just, you know, they've been doing it and they just rattle it off, but yeah, if you don't have your notes right in front of you, it can be and then so I have this here to make sure that it doesn't trigger multiple times. You don't want it to like trigger and then you're still sitting in that zone. Yeah, it's highlighted yellow, so I won't forget it. So now we can go to here in transitions, Control Shift add so that I instance it. Level transition. Put you over, move node here. Let's add a collision shape. Boom. Collision shape. Let's make that. Let's make that a rectangle. All right, let's just see if we walk into it. I'm going to show visible D. Oh, it's already on. Okay. Okay, let's see if we get it printing out. An agent off screen, which happens a bunch. Yeah, so you used to have Google. Hey, there we go. Player entered the body. Player entered the body. I guess the only like re-enter possibility, I guess if you're moving the player, that something weird could happen. But like if someone was wiggling the stick and it did that and tried to load the level multiple times, that would be bad. Okay, so we know that the player can enter there. So let's move him closer just so I don't have to go across the move node here. Have a friend dress up as Agent Smith telling you what to do off screen. That'd be pretty good. I don't know, Tasty K, you wanna dress up as Agent Smith? And tell me what to do from off screen? Okay, so we've got our transition where that's working. So if we go into script it, so now I want to make a signal. At least I think the hardest part of it, I named ahead of time so that I wouldn't be sitting here. At least I think I made names. Yeah, like signal, transition. There's the spelling. Transition requested, and that's going to take a scene UID, which I'm just going to do as a string for now. Make it. Eventually there'll be it's the smell. Yeah, that's actually perfect for the there's a bad code smell. It's the smell. That's the signal if something's wrong. Okay, so well, might as well keep the debugs there, just so we know. So if we hit this, we're gonna say has triggered equals true. And then we're going to say transition requested dot emit. And I am just going to, for now, I'm just going to hard code it. Eventually, I want to have like maybe a global lookup dictionary or something like that. But for the purposes of this, so that's this level. I don't want to go to this level. I want to go to this level. I don't know why I have still the parentheses on there. Can you guys hear this music? This is a good one. Okay. Emit and test level 2. Let me see. Player enter body plus st. Oh, it's already a string. Let's see. So it should do it once and player entered the body, and there's the UID. Beautiful. Gonna bounce. All right, Beelzebub, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we might not have enough time to finish this out. Maybe I talked a little too much about went on too many tangents. I was hoping to get this. Let me just see if I can get this to load. So I'm telling this to go to test level 2 now. I'm going to go to my base level, have that have a signal, which is signal level transition. It's gonna, so this is kind of scene UID string. And then, so now in this level, I'm going to say what do I call it? Signal level transition dot connect. I'm going to need where are you? Okay, so hopefully, so that should connect that to let's see, level on level transition signal. Scene UID string. Oh wait, is that? Yeah, so I'm connecting to the level transitions. Wait, hold on, did I do that right? No, I want the transition requested. That's what I want. Level transition requested. So on transition requested. Then I want this to what did I call it? My base level, signal level transition. Signal level transition dot emit. And I'm not really doing a whole lot of type safety here. Let's just see if it makes its way up. What did I miss? What did I screw up here? Oh, on level transition. Let's just do a quick print debug. Level sees the transition. Level sees the transition. All right. All right, Beelzebub, thanks for hanging out. I hope I caught you before you left. Yeah, I'm just hoping to finish this up and actually get the get this to run. And if you guys have been enjoying yourselves, you know, if you're not in the Discord, hop on the Discord. There's, you know, I recognize a lot of you. A lot of really cool people on the Discord. People a lot of really helpful. I try to help as much as I can, but usually you guys are faster than I am. So so thank you. Okay, so now this is where it gets interesting. Where am I? So now, one day I'll be able to stream how I do things. Yeah, I'm doing my best to stream how I do things. Hopefully I'm doing things right. Let me think. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot. There's a lot of levels to this. Okay. So once we have the level, then we can say, all right, at this point, everything is all there. So current level dot connect. Oop, not connect dot signal level transition. That was the base level one, right? Signal level transition. You're right. You're right about. Oh man, did everybody leave? Hey, I'm still here. Who else is still here? All right, well, it happened. The everything tripped. I lost my power. I don't know if you guys are there and can hear me or not, but if you can. I guess since everybody left, we'll call that for today. Sorry about the little bit of technical difficulties at the end there. So hopefully could fix this in the VOD. So make sure to check out the Discord. I'll put the link in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Wait, you guys are still here? Did people come back? Maybe it's not over. I don't know if this will get to you, if the delay will get to you guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties. My chat, it gave me a new chat window. That's why I couldn't see. Man. That was interesting. Allegedly here. I can see you guys. Can you guys see me? All right. Whew, we're back. Oh man. So we have a light that's on an extension cord outside, and of course it's raining, and of course it shorts out, and it just so happens to be on the same breaker as the internet. So yeah, that's what happened. My internet just went out. I had to go run outside in the rain and thunder and unplug it and and re-click the breaker. All right, you guys want to see me finish this and see if this actually works before we call it a day? All right, let's see. Now I'm all flustered and lost. Where were we? Okay, I'm in the main game, and it's going to connect, and when it gets that, it's going to get a string, UID, string. I've been burned by that a few times. That's why I keep the router. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to do that from now on. The one thing I hate about with UPSs is that, well, you know, to get a good one, they're expensive. And I guess it's just a known thing that the battery just always eventually burns out and you just have to replace it. Because I got a super nice one a while back. This is back when I was I think I was in college, so it was a very big purchase for me. And when it went out, I was like, oh, what do I do? Is there a warranty? And it's like, no, it's expected. You know, after a year or so, the UPS goes out. But I think given what just happened, it's probably a good idea to get a UPS for that router. So I'm gonna, you know what? That's going on my paper notes. Get UPS. Explain to my wife that I need it. Yeah, if there's a particular brand that's better than another one, let me know, because the one I had worked for like a year, and then I looked at it and it was like I was like, oh yeah, you know, these go out, you know, every 1 to 2 years. Business expense. Yeah. Well, I have to make enough business income for it to. Currently, I have more expenses than I have revenue, so technically yes, but I guess it does take my business tax to zero. But that's why you guys should, you know. Well, now there's 23. That's why memberships are open. You get to watch awesome videos like the little behind the scenes I put up yesterday, and you get early access to videos. You know. The last few bought were cyber power. I'll look into that. Okay, so I'm in the main menu. So it's going to connect to, it's probably going to break spectacularly, but maybe I'll get lucky. So when it creates the level, it's going to connect to that signal to its own signal, which I'm just going to tell it to load. I'm going to put no protections in here. Load level, string UID. Let's make sure down to this one that it is. Okay, what do you think? What do you guys think the odds are that this works on the first go? I'm sure if there is a bug, somebody spotted it, and I haven't. Let's see. Oh, look at that! Yeah, yeah, that was a natural natural way. Yeah, I need a UPS so this doesn't happen again. Join membership. But you know, I really do appreciate memberships, and it means a lot for people to support. But you know, do it if you want to. You know, don't feel bad for me. All right, I want to see that one more time because okay, let's take it. Yeah, I'm gonna take it back to the beginning. We'll go over everything we learned today. Just it'd be pretty funny if the transition didn't work this time. Yeah, I am surprised as anybody else. I was expecting there to be some bug. Okay, so assuming the player starts here, they see this. Oh, it's a natural path. If you're one of the types of people that's like an explorer. Oh, it's over here. Okay, there's a lake. That would be like a hard thing. Oh, but I can kind of go down over here. Okay, well, yeah, I'll fix that a little bit. It should be important to be able to see that there's an exit over there. But then the idea being, you come up here. I need to make this a little bit more obvious that there's a, I'm pointing at my monitor. You guys can see my finger at the monitor, right? A little bit more, but we'll get that next time. So then, you know, you could go down here where there is no transition, but that's where that would be. And if you go up here, this isn't technically where it would take you, but it works. Let's look at the... Look at that. New level on the level route. All right, I'm gonna do it one more time where we can see the all right, we got test level 3 connected to the level route there. So if the cool thing is if I had a HUD, well, I do have a HUD, I guess. Then I'm just replacing the level. So it gets there. Boom. Level 2. Awesome. All right, I think that's probably a good place to wind down. And unless you guys have any questions or any things in particular you want to bring up before we call it a day. Nice quick transition. Yeah. You know, I just because we're going a little bit long. Like, yeah, it'd be nice to have like a fade to black, and then, you know, that's kind of what the general idea is. But yeah, does the job. I'm happy that it at least works. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching. All the stuff that I said when we had the fake out ending. Appreciate you all being here. So next time, planning on going into a little bit more of the transition. Probably gonna be a little bit more coding next time. So we're gonna do. I have some plans for so there's going to be a section up here and sort of a secret section over here where you get to peek at a scene over here, but we'll handle that next time. All right. So again, thank you guys for watching, and for real this time, I'll catch you in the next one. All right. Thank you.